Sagittarius, I believe. Yes, we are on Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. Greetings and salutations, my friends. You are most welcome here. I apologize that I have not uploaded since July, but the energy that I had was not quite right for reading. However, I have relocated and I am capable of reading again. So here we are with your hopes, fears, and reality reading. And you got a card that jumped out right off the bat. Feeling stagnant, Sagittarius? That's like the worst feeling for a Sagittarius, isn't it? All right. Anyhow, you can click on the description box below and it will explain the placements of the cards and the significance of the spread. Since this one card popped out, I'm actually going to read everything through the lens of this card. So this isn't the overall theme, it's kind of like the underlying, the root of the situation. Does that make sense? Because, you know, to make a liar out of myself, if you click on the description box, it doesn't say what that placement is. But it came out, and I believe it came out for a reason. So let's talk about it for a second. This is a card in the upright. It would be a card of action, of moving forward, of communication, of travel. This is stagnant. That's the way it came out. There's something that's keeping you still. Sometimes when something keeps us still, it's there for a reason. But I don't want to jump to a conclusion yet. Let's get to the cards. So in your hopes, ooh, you have the Knight of Cups in the inverse and the Two of Swords in the inverse. What this tells me is that you've decided that you are your own knight in shining armor. Nobody's going to come save you, right? The decision has been made, or you've just been left on your own. Maybe you asked for help and you didn't receive it, and now you're hoping to be your own hero, which isn't a bad thing. It's independent, very independent. So whenever I talk about the aces, I always like to remind people that it is high potential and low resolution, which means you need to take all this potential energy and process it through some sort of framework in order for it to become something. Right now it could be anything, but it's absolutely nothing until you process it, right? So you have the cups. The Ace of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. And then you have the Six of Cups here, which is a card of nostalgia. And if it were in the upright, sometimes it's about healing those old wounds from the past. But to me, it seems, because these are both in your fear position, it's almost like you have all this emotion and you have nowhere to process it. You have no vessel to put it through. You have no framework to put it through. And you're literally overflowing with emotion. And unfortunately, instead of healing those old wounds from the past, you fear that it's digging up those old memories and scratching at those old wounds. And if you're all full, you know, you have this crazy like I heard another tarot card reader describe Sagittarian energy as being fizzy. So you have all this fizzy energy that was from she has a YouTube channel called Scorched Earth, and I like the way she described it. So I don't want to take credit for coming up with that analogy. So credit where credit is due. The lady from Scorched Earth says that the tarot card reader from Scorched Earth says that Sagittarians have this fizzy energy. So you have all this fizzy energy and it scares you because you're stagnant. There's nowhere to put it. There's nowhere to go. And you know from your past that you've gotten in trouble when you have that feeling before, because I am a Sagittarius and I say I know this feeling. I'm very familiar with this feeling. You have all this energy and nowhere to put it. You fear the overthinking and the darker thoughts settling in, and you making decisions based on that. it's a scary place. So you are stagnant. You're hoping to be your own hero, and you fear making the same mistakes that you made in the past because you have all this energy and nowhere to put it. The reality of the situation is just the fact that you're aware that this has happened in the past will stop you from making the same mistakes again. However, it doesn't stop you from feeling that feeling, right? The anxiety is there. But because you know the pain that that anxiety can cause, you're left with the anxiety, but you aren't going to go to the depths of the pain. And again, a card of stagnancy. I often think of the 10 of Swords in the inverse as being pinned to the ceiling. You're so close to the end, but you're stuck for some sort of reason. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles here, meaning that, and again, it's a very slow energy. His horse is pretty much standing still. He's looking at where he wants to go, and he has his resources with him, but he really doesn't look like he's going anywhere. The reality of the situation is you have all this fiery energy, and you have nowhere to process it through, and this scares you. What do I do with all of this? Where do I focus this great ball of fire that's building up inside of me? Because I'm not moving. And I'm not going anywhere. And I'm left dealing with everything that I have to deal with. See, this is kind of similar to the Leo reading where I told the Leos that they just have to eat it. They just literally have to go through the process because sometimes that's what you have to do. And that's exactly what I'm getting here. Okay? You don't feel you're going to work your way through this situation, and you don't feel like you're going to be victorious in the process. This isn't going to be, even when you get to the end and you know the end is there, no matter what the outcome, you're not going to feel victorious. It's just going to be an end. It's going to be more of a relief than anything else. And that's the best you can hope for in this situation, or at least that's how you feel. And the truth, I have this thing about swords is when they're facing me, the truth is a little painful. And when they're facing away from me on the table, the truth and the idea is exuberating and will set me free. So this came up in the inverse. So the hard facts is, where did I learn how to talk? The hard fact is, or the fact of the matter is, that there are some truths that are going to come out that are going to be very painful to you. Which is why it won't feel like a victory. When this is over, it'll just feel a big sigh of relief. Because ultimately, there is grief and remorse and a little bit more chaos to be had before it's over. So sometimes we dig a hole, right? And when we found ourselves in a hole, the best thing to do is just stop digging. So perhaps this stagnancy is to stop you from going deeper into the hole. And now you have to look up and see how far you've gone down and pull yourself back out of it. So yeah, the stagnancy is here for a reason, because if you keep moving in that direction, if you kept pressing that ball of fire into that direction, it would have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. But here you are at a point where, yeah, you may have made a few mistakes, and yeah, you may have taken a wrong turn here or there, but it's not so bad that you can't go back and fix it. So the stagnancy and all of this energy, it's just not going to where you intended it to go in the first place. Use that to backtrack and to make another choice. So there is somewhere to put it. It's just not the direction that you were originally intending. This is the universe telling you, don't go there. Stop, and turn around. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you next time.